Anyway, so two of my dearest sisters, Ginny and Joanna, who've been in a long-term 30-year relationship, who had serious ups and downs in their life together, have of course applied and lived the Course in Miracles. In the last few months, were directed to buy this wonderful condominium down in Plymouth. And they weren't looking for it. They were just visiting the area a few months ago. So they stumbled onto, I forget the name of the place, in Plymouth on Manamet Beach. And they knew, see, this is living by vocation, life by vocation, by calling, not by, goal setting. So they walked into this place, no plans to move or to get a place, and they knew they belonged there. And they found themselves giving the man a deposit and buying the place that day. Now, both of them had homes, and they hadn't sold their homes yet. Ginny went home, and Joanna, and within 24 hours, she sold her home. Because her intention was, your will, not mine. Just like what I was going to say with my sisters. The only common thing my sisters and I have had is, what is God's will for us, not ours. That's a commonality. That it doesn't matter what religion you have, what mystical tradition you use, alternative religions, old or new. Bottom line is surrender, Dorothy. It's like, give up the ship. What do you want? I'm yours. What do you want? And that's what Ginny and Joanna were doing. They were saying, dear God, what is your will? And it seems, and they were so excited. All their lives, each of them and together would have loved a house by the ocean. They've got a pond in the back at the Manamet Beach Ocean in their front yard. So anyway, a few months ago, they bought it, sold one of their houses, the other one they'll put up for sale soon, and they're living down there. So I went down the first time this weekend, and I hadn't been able to get there. And what an adventure. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Living with the Holy Spirit is a lot of fun. It's wondrous because there's no effort involved. It is really learning to live by grace instead of the sweat of your brow. So anyway, we went down, and then a few other people went down. A friend of ours and his girlfriend went down. Bungalow Bill, we call him Bill, went down, and his girlfriend Lisa. And another friend of ours, Kathy Ahern, went down. And Bill and Lisa are in a difficult relationship, a stormy relationship, and have been for 2 years now. And what unfolded was absolutely miraculous. I'm realizing and watching new paradigms and models unfold around me every minute. So Bill and Lisa were having, from one extreme to the other, hard, difficult time and blissful time. The whole range the ego has you on. And what occurred, and Ginny and Joanna and I were talking, and we were saying, there has to be a new kind of therapy. Most people go to couples therapy or therapy for healing issues from when you were 2 or whatever they are. But it isn't therapy. In the Course in Miracles is a form of therapy, but it isn't quite what we think of as traditional therapy, and it isn't exactly mediation. And what occurred was something I'll call witnessing. Ginny and Joanna and I, but Ginny and Joanna were really wonderful at this, were naturally inclined to be witnesses for this couple who were in difficulty. And in their witnessing, it was like I'm sitting here saying, oh my gosh, this is the birth of a whole new model, new tradition, new option for help. And not just for people that do the Course in Miracles, for anyone in relationship difficulties. Because in their 30 years, they had accepted help that showed up as a happy relationship in their life. They become portals, channels, instruments. They become literally doorways to bring help to anyone that comes to them, because they received the clearing in their own mind about what they had been projecting out as the problem in each other. When one receives the answer and accepts it and applies it and clears their mind, it's like we hold hands or go arm in arm, where it's an invitation and it's easier to accept the help than if it's just someone telling you about something. Because remember, it's our minds where we communicate to one another. And when a state of mind is in grace, and someone is willing to say, help me, it doesn't matter if they believe in God or don't believe in anything and believe in the Easter Bunny. It wouldn't matter. When any one or two people, especially two, come together and say, please help me, and there's a state of grace available in front of them, then help comes. And all Ginny and Joanna were doing was witnessing. They were being present to recognize that the issues between them were not what they appear to be, and they weren't trying to give them any answers. They were trying to be present with them and allow them to feel their feelings without blame, but a full acceptance of whatever was going on. And this, if anyone has ever practiced forgiveness in your life, oh my gosh, sorry, is what it is. Turn that off. Is to realize I don't know what this situation really means. I will allow, embrace, and accept every single thing that's occurring to me. And rather than bring it to my brother for a solution or to fight with, I will bring it to the altar within and surrender and say, here I am. So Ginny and Joanna demonstrated a new model of therapy, of couples therapy, of individual therapy, unlike any I've ever seen. And it was profoundly beautiful and simple by being present. And then they realized, oh my gosh, maybe this is what our home is for. Because someone was calling it's a beach house, and they said, no, it's a beach retreat. It's a retreat house, and they want to invite everyone to come. Now they're going to invite all of Cambridge to come.
No, this is worldwide. We will give you the address
We'll
for
give you the
free.
address. Yes.
Oceanside.
Oceanside Healing.
We only have a very few minutes.
Oh,
very
right.
few. Have two questions.
Okay, that was one example. Okay,
that
of
was-
change.
yes.
In the psychological model, there's an example.
And I only have
Okay.
we only have 2 minutes.
All right.
No, we have 3 whole delicious minutes more. So, how can I put this? One, I have a little trouble. I love what you're saying, of course, and I ask these questions only to hear your answers, really. To give myself to anybody, including God, doesn't seem free to me. The word Israel, I lived in Israel for 3 years. Israel means to wrestle with God. Literally, that's the meaning. Because many people, including the settlers in Israel, hear God tell them, take this land which belongs to the Palestinians. Or other people in the Middle East used to, not now, thank goodness, hear God and blow up other people in the name of their God.
That's right.
So how do we know when God is telling us good things and when God is telling us things we should wrestle with? I asked very specifically because once I heard sleeping on the rooftop in Jerusalem, jump. And I said, aha, thank God Israel means wrestle with God. I think this is time to wrestle.
Well, so all I would say to you, this is something Jesus said many years ago.
Yes.
By their fruits ye shall know them.
Mm-hmm.
If a solution brings peace, trust it. If it doesn't, wrestle. And perhaps the jump wasn't a physical jump. Perhaps the jump was an ontological jump, a different kind of jump. And perhaps it was a jump that maybe the word surrender is the wrong word for you, but maybe willingness.
So ontologically, that sounds like I went to the University of Chicago. That sounds something I could really get into.
I knew it would. I knew it would.
Ontological. Have you ontologically jumped today? If you haven't, we're now going to hear the last minute from Vicki about ontological jumping.
But a willingness, maybe willingness would be enough. Willingness to recognize if I'm in distress, I don't know, and I would like to know.
And to really watch those fruits, right?
And watch those fruits. And if you feel a prompt and it doesn't bring you peace and peace doesn't show up around you, it would be wise to step back and listen better, or to maybe be asked for a better understanding of what the message was. But the fruits are simple. Either they're peaceful or not. We know that. It's not a difficult thing.
So we have 30 seconds. We started with a prayer before you joined us, but maybe we could end with one.
Oh, all right. All right. So there's a few of us here in the studio, and with all of you, You know, this is the time that we are called to live as souls, to live as brothers, to love one another, to look within before we look without, to not necessarily need to understand anything, but be willing to not understand, but be willing to have an open mind that isn't crowded with lots of false solutions. So to Spirit, dear Spirit, God in any language and in every language, we come before you as a family right now here in Cambridge, and we give you our lives, our minds, our hearts, and we ask for only your presence in them, that we bring peace to ourselves, to our families, and to this world, and that we take every opportunity to bless one another rather than blame them. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.